So, as the sun starts slowly going back down, I'm going to start making my way home and setting up more thoroughly and getting ready to go mining. And I have found another chest to be looting. There are some wooden arrows, which I probably won't actually get to using that much, just because I don't like having to deal with ammo, because that makes me nervous that at some pivotable point in a fight... I said pivotable again, didn't I? I'm getting very used to saying that for some reason. I promise I know the word pivotal, whether or not I'm giving that impression. It just makes me nervous that at some pivotal part of an important fight, I'm just going to run out of ammo and die because that's the only weapon I'm using at the time. So, I do have sometimes unnecessary personal opinions on just about every weapon in the game, on whether or not it's worth dealing with and generally having anywhere near my hotbar. And, of course, being the smart man that he is, the guide has gotten himself trapped in a pit. And I don't really care because I don't really want him here, so he can enjoy his pit. And if I'm correct, I now have enough resources to make a hammer, and then later I can go back and get those chests and use them for storage. I'm going to go ahead and place down an anvil because I don't remember what that helps you make, but I know that that is helpful in making various things. And now I'm going to finish up my house, and then add lighting. And as can be seen, I managed to get back to my house just in time for night to start setting, and right there I was actually abusing the system of the game a little bit, in that I shot my boomerang through the door in order to avoid unnecessary conflict. So at this point I'm going to make lots of wooden platforms, because those are generally the good way to get back up from large mine shafts, and it generally makes life easier. And now I'm going to mess with my hotbar, because typically I have my pickaxe there as number 1, and so I'm having the difficulty that I keep going to my pickaxe to mine and then not being able to. And unlike the usual, I am going to be able to make this mine shaft, make these spaces in this mine shaft much larger between the wooden platforms, because, as I previously discussed, I atypically have wings ready this early in the game, just because it gets on my nerves to not have them at hand the entire game. So this allows me to not have placed a second wooden platform yet and still be able to get all the way to the top. Though I do want to be careful, which is why I keep flying up. I want to make sure that I don't get myself stranded to a point where I can't get back up, because that tends to make it much more difficult to add to my wooden platforms, though the wingspan is proving to be much larger than I was remembering, and so it's not becoming too much of an issue. So at this point I just dig down and hope that eventually something exciting will come along. Eventually I'll probably get to a cave, which may be what I'm reaching right now. It indeed is, so this is where the fun begins. Let's see, I'm going to put wooden platforms there. Okay, so I can still reach the top, and then I've just gone ahead and put a platform here for safe measure. And so, wow, I already have gold ore. I've found a chest with a aglet in it, which is a nice generic starting accessory. I have grenades, more iron bars, though I can't remember where my first ones went. That makes me worried. Some shuriken and an iron skin potion, which is probably one of my favorites, and I should probably avoid drowning. That tends to not be good for the health. I've gotten the chest, and now I've been rather stupid in that I placed my gold ore. because I ran out of torches, which I'm now dealing with, making it so that this slot was not torches as I wanted it to be. And as you can see right here, there's this glowing material, and that's actually rather uncommon, especially this early, in that it's called demonite, and it's going to be a good while before I'm able to mine it, though honestly mining it isn't a good way of getting it in the quantities that you need. Typically you only really worry about it as far as a drop from the first bosses, because they drop it in much larger quantity than the 2 blocks that you see here, and they make it that you are able to actually have enough to make things that you're wanting. And I'm now becoming somewhat paranoid about drowning because of how earlier I almost did so. And what I did there was I like to, when I'm going deep underwater, make air bubbles every once in a while and then put torches in them, because the water will destroy torches directly, so this way I can have lighting but not deal with things like glow sticks, which are specifically designed so that they do not go away underwater. And now I'm probably needing air first, but I'm going to go off to this side and then see how far it continues that way. I'm sure at some point something exciting will happen. I just feel like this is the just typical beginning of Terraria. Ooh! And here's, at very least for me, something exciting, in that I believe this is indeed silver, which in this large of a quantity is very helpful. I'm probably going to be able to make at least 1 tool out of this, so once I finish mining this chunk, I'm actually probably going to go back topside just to see what I can make out of this. Though actually, now I'm remembering that the reason I could not make anything with my iron anvil was that in order to make things with iron anvil, you must first have bars, which you get by taking ore and using it with a furnace that you make out of some number of stone that I've probably quite easily managed to acquire by this point, so I should have much more crafting options available to me when I go back. So that is the entirety of the silver. I'm actually probably going to go ahead and get this copper just to get that out of the way. And I'm having difficulties because here I'm finding the full span of my flight life. And I don't quite make it. Here we go. So now I'm going to scroll down and select a furnace, make that. And I'm somewhat running out of room, so I'll put that there, though it blocks the door, so that will cause me problems in the future. And now I can make all of these bars that you're seeing. Especially 9 silver bars, so that's going to be very helpful. And apparently the only silver tool I can make right now is an axe, which I'm not making because I probably want to upgrade my pickaxe first, just because, as I was discussing, that is typically my tool of choice. And I'm having problems. There we go. I still don't trust my combat abilities enough to directly confront the zombies, so I'm going ahead and slinging my boomerang through the door and just getting more or less freebie gold.